Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're taking things back to basics with N8N 101 class. If you've heard about automation but don't know where to start, you're in the right place. We're going to demystify the word of N8N and show you how it can revolutionize your workflow. N8N is a powerful no-code platform, meaning you don't need to be a programmer to use it. It lets you connect your favorite apps and services, automate repetitive tasks, and free up your time to focus on what really matters, growing your business and creating amazing content. By the end of this video, you will understand what N8N is and how it works, and the key concept of N8N automation and simple examples you can start using today. Before we dive into examples, let's get on the same page first. So the first question is, could you automate everything with N8N? While N8N is incredibly versatile, the answer is it depends. Not every task is a good candidate for automation. To figure out what can be automated, we first need to understand what constitutes a process. A process is simply a series of steps that are consistently repeated to achieve a specific outcome. Think of it like a recipe. Follow the same steps in the same order, and you will get the same result every time. Good candidates for automation are processes that are repetitive, rule-based, and rely on the data that can be accessed and processed by computers, while processes that aren't good for automation typically involve creative thinking, complex human judgments, or unpredictable situations. So keep this in mind even before we start automation. So if we look at N8N official glossary tab, it can be daunting, especially if you are starting. There are so many jargons and terms that you get to used to. So I grab only 3 terms that you must know. So the first thing is nodes. Nodes are individual building blocks of a workflow. Each node represents a specific task or action. For example, sending an email, making HTTP requests, or running a piece of custom code. And there are 3 types of node. First one is trigger node, and second one is action node, and third one is utility node. I will show you the details of it with the examples. And second thing is workflow. A workflow is a sequence of connected nodes that together form an automation process. It defines how data flows from one node to the next one. And the third one is canvas. You can think of canvas as just a visual editor. So if someone told you, say, open up a new canvas and we are going to create a new workflow with nodes, that means you are opening up new visual editor and creating a new workflow with multiple nodes from start to end. So make sure you get familiar with these terms. Before I dive into a new example, I just want to share what is the best practice you can have for automation in general. Take time to map out your process. Mapping out your process is simply creating a visual representation of all the steps involved in a task from start to finish. Think of it as a roadmap for your automation. This way, you can have a clear blueprint and potential roadblocks even before you start building. And you can assess whether a process is actually automatable or worth your effort and time. It doesn't have to be a fancy diagram. You can use Figma, Whimsical, or even Obsidian for this. All you need to do is to identify starting and ending points and steps in between. Remember, mapping out your process isn't just an extra step. It's an investment in the success of your automation. And for my case, I just used Whimsical. And this new automation workflow is all about getting the CSV and read the top 50 content and repurpose it using ChatGPT and save in another CSV. So if I start this one as a beginner, I just need to know 4 things here: how to read a CSV and how to ask ChatGPT to repurpose it, including prompts, and how to save in another CSV, and how to connect these nodes in N8N. This way you already know what you don't know, and you just need to educate yourself. Finally, we are talking about real example. If you are making content for your any goals, you know the struggle of consistently worrying about the content ideas for next viral. A great way to replicate your success is to repurpose the previously well-performing content in a different format or style. I use Threads and LinkedIn to give you an idea, but you can use X, Blue Sky, or anything and turn into content for a different platform or a different style. The most important part is you do have data that you can feed ChatGPT so it can transform content for you. So to start an automation, you need a trigger node. If you click this plus and add another trigger, you can see many options, but probably you will use trigger manually or on a schedule or on chat based. And in this case, we're using manual trigger. And the next step is to connect to Google Spreadsheets to read top 50 or 15 content from our data set. And if you haven't connected to any apps, N8N will draw an error saying you need credentials to start automation. To resolve this issue, for Google, you just need to log in with your Gmail, and then you will have access to your Google spreadsheet. And for OpenAI case, go to platform.openai.com like this. Then you can create a new API keys for your N8N project. And once you create that new secret, save it into your N8N, and then you can confirm you have successfully registered credentials in these credential tabs. For me, I have OpenRouter, Airtable, Telegram, Google Spreadsheet, and OpenAI. And coming back to our current one, the next step is to connect Google Spreadsheets. So to do so, click this plus button and search here Google Spreadsheet, and they show available actions. You can create a new one and append, update. But for us, we need to get rows. So I want to explain the left pane and the right pane. The left pane, this is where you see the data coming into a node from the previous steps. And on the right side, output pane, after the node processes the data, the results appears on this part. With that, we can connect to our spreadsheet. The first thing is I save in this business, and then I have Threads 2024 to 2015. And if I go to the spreadsheet here, and I will grab top 20. So to do so, I just need to come back here, add an option, and data location. And if you look at data range definition, you can say A1 to H21. First row is just header. So I set this, and once you feel you get it, test step here. So if I click test step, boom, on the right side, after running this current node, we get row number 2, content, and related columns, and we see the pagination. So we got 20 data from Google Spreadsheet successfully. So back to the campus, and we can move to the next one. And the next step is to pass these 20 items to OpenAI and ask them to repurpose content for LinkedIn. To do so, click this one, and I'll click OpenAI and click Message and Model. Once you click that, as I explained previously, you can see the input data on the left pane. And you can select any model, but for me, I would do 4.0 mini, which is pretty good, but not too expensive to run. So 4.0 mini here. And you can add text here. I already made it here. What I did is craft a compelling long-form LinkedIn post that showcases your expertise in practical AI, solopreneurship, or content creation. This is my profile, and you can always change it to your own needs. And next one, I said, focus on high engagement topic from past content and offer actionable insights that resonate with solopreneurs or creators looking to leverage AI for growth. And down here, I just say input is, you can drag and drop the field here. And input is post title. So based on the post title, I ask them to repurpose for my target audience in LinkedIn. And you can always test steps. So I'll do, in this case, test steps. Yes, now we can see the outcome from these 20 items. Here, if you see, actually on the input I used Korean for the content on threads, but it was successfully translating into English, saying navigating AI revolution and yada yada yada. And we have 20 new content ideas to share on our social media. So this step is done. Back to Canvas. The last step is to actually save this output into another spreadsheet so that we can save it and archive for the future purpose. To do so, click this one and spreadsheet here again. Append rows in sheet here. And then click my own data set. I do have here. And finally, we have now map column manually or map column automatically. But let's see. If we go back here, repurpose here, I set index, original content, and new content here. So this case, we are not matching automatically, so we have to do manual mapping, and I'll show you how to do so here. So the index here, if you click the schema here, you can see the old input from previous nodes, Google spreadsheet here, and original content will be this post title. So I will drag and put it in post title. And the new content is actually this message and content. So I'll click here. Like this. And let's test this step. I think it was successfully executed. So if we go back, this is the original content, but on the last column it shows our new content from ChatGPT. So if I were you, if you don't like this markdown format, just go to ChatGPT and remove all the markdown syntax. I'm using O3 Mini High, by the way. And boom, here you have new content that you can share directly. But most times I use this one as a draft and I add my own spin, my experience and knowledge to give a better content for my target audience. So coming back to N8N, back to Canvas, we successfully created new workflow that repurpose your previously successful content to another format, another style for a different platform. This way, I think you can save at least 2 to 3 hours each week for content creation, and you don't have to worry about constantly content ideas for next viral. Next example is to ask AI agent to conduct a topic research based on the chat I'm giving them. Often we spend a lot of time to research certain topics to catch up with. So this is a great automation you can save in searching quality information and focus your time on making that knowledge useful to you. So first, we'll use chat-based trigger. Like I mentioned here, you can use this on chat message. And once you have that, you can open it up. We don't have to put anything here right now. But once you make chat publicly available, if you enable this one, N8N will give you this URL that you can use, and you can also customize the first message saying, Nathan, how can I assist you today? So if I move to here, this is just an example. It shows like this. And I will not do this one just for development purpose. And you have this little chat here in down too. So you can ask any messages here. And the most important part for this automation is this agent part. So you can add AI agent again. And before I dive into this prompt, make sure you also get connected to Open Router and having credential there, and put some credits there if you want to use Perplexity. In our case, we are going to use Perplexity because Perplexity is a perfect to gather information from multiple sources, and it always return with their citations. So you can confirm the reliability of sources by yourself. And the next step, once you get the Open Router set up, click the AI agent. And here we're using chat input as the main foundation for generating responses. And the next step is we'll send system message to AI agent, and always invest time in crafting and refining your prompts, as the quality of your prompt directly determines the quality of AI output. A well-structured prompt leads to more accurate, relevant, and useful results, making your automation significantly more effective. So to show you full prompt here, I use like this. I want to stay up to date on this chat input. Example, and please search recent news articles and provide a summary of most noteworthy developments in the past week so that we can catch up with the topic we want to learn. And focus on events and changes that are significant, impactful, and represent a major shift, and exclude minor updates. So we don't need the nitty-gritty details here. So coming back to here, I literally put that prompt here, and then we can run the test tab. Coming back to Canvas, chat here, what I would do is Anthropic Claude. Save it. You can always reset if it doesn't work. Anthropic Claude again. Yeah, now it's running. And here, if you see, however, here's general overview of Claude and its impact. Oh. We can ask again. So now finally, we have information what we wanted here. And key expectation for Claude 4 and multimodal capability, and it gives a nice markdown. And as you can see, it doesn't parse the citation well so that we can click this link like we did in Perplexity. But at a certain point, this is pretty nice. And if you look at the right side, we can see what we put as an input here, we can see as a JSON or plain text, and output here. And the nice part about this is it shows the token they used. So if we go back to the Open Router thing, you can always check the credits here. So after I run this, it spent like 0.020 dollars. So it's super cheap. So I highly recommend to put some credits on Open Router and play with this one. And in our next video, I will improve this automation so that we can do with Telegram. So you can use this automation anywhere. So like this, by harnessing the power of N8N, you can unlock a whole new level of productivity and efficiency in your business and creative work. It's about streamlining your workflow, eliminating manual, repetitive tasks, and having your time to focus on what matters. So that's it for today's introduction to N8N. Thank you for taking time to explore this incredible tool with me. I hope I've inspired you to start automating your own workflows. And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to stay updated on future discussion about AI automation and business.